how I consistently close at least 3 to 5 deals every single month from copying other wholesalers. Now, I know that sounds great. Like, whoa. What are you talking about? This sounds absolutely ludicrous. This sounds absolutely insane. But every single month, I'll get at least 5 deals from just, what Dr. Dre says, keeping his ears to the streets. And more specifically, just going out here and seeing what the other wholesalers in the area are doing and just doing what they are doing. I've always gotten a ton of wholesaling deals by doing this. And it's one of the biggest secrets I have in this business. And the thing about this is if you were a virtual wholesaler, the keys of success and the game plan is there. And one thing about this is like, there are so many people, especially in virtual wholesaling, right, that are dumber than you, that are way younger than you, that have less time than you, but they are always ended up making more money than you. And the reason this is because they're doing something that you are not doing, right? Inherently. Because if they're dumber than you, then they shouldn't be winning. If they're younger than you, right, you're wiser, you should do better. And if they have less time during the week to wholesale, you should be able to destroy them. And the funniest part about this is the reason you are losing right now is because you're just not doing this one thing. And so if you are able to keep your eyes out to opportunities, you can do a lot better. And my best virtual wholesaling markets, my best wholesaling strategies for virtual and my wins have always been from basically copying other successful wholesalers and just doing that at scale. And I always kind of come back here to the greatest entrepreneurs of all time, and they always create this strategy. And I kind of look at people I look up to. So for example, I think love him or hate him, right? But like you look at Elon Musk, right? You can hate whatever he does, but you got to remember this. He didn't invent or come up with electric cars. He perfected it, in my opinion. Jeff Bezos did not invent selling things online. He perfected it. I look at Steve Jobs. He didn't invent the smartphone, but I truly believe he perfected it, right? Even Bill Gates, he never invented software. He perfected. He bought Microsoft. Like he bought the software, the UI and everything from a company in Seattle for $50,000. And then he built on top of that, right? The greatest entrepreneurs of all time, they don't invent things, they just perfect them. They take what someone else is doing and then they just make it the best possible version. And that is always what I've been able to do. It's like taking a recipe and using it for yourself and just kind of shooting out like a rocket unironically and using that for success. And the thing about it is, I'll give you some examples. Starting out my wholesaling journey, about 2-3 years in wholesaling, right? I start really getting into virtual wholesaling and I'm like, I can't really find these good markets. I don't know what I'm doing, what's wrong, what's not working. And then I start just going to Facebook groups. Facebook groups were a lot bigger, 5-6 years ago in wholesaling. Now, we have freewholesaling.com, we have YouTube, things like that. It's not really was a thing back then. I sound like an old man saying that, but it is 100% true. And some examples I want to give to you of kind of this strategy working for me. I think one of the biggest ones was I went straight out here into Facebook groups and I saw other like wholesalers. And I was 20 years old at the time, right? I was no young buck, I was young, but like I wasn't, crazy in here. And so what I decided to do was go in there and I found a bunch of like 18-year-olds. And the craziest part about, these 18-year-olds is they'd go out here and just start bragging. Like it was actually insane to me. They would go out here and start, bragging like, oh, bro, I made $19,000 in this market. They wouldn't say what market, right? They would never, ever say what market. But what they would do is they would go flex with a check. That's what they always did. They always flexed with the check. And that check said assignment fee for 123 Main Avenue in Sevierville, Tennessee. And I'm like, this 18-year-old, who is virtually wholesaling, by the way, knows absolutely nothing about wholesaling real estate or virtual wholesaling. Like, it's kind of weird, right? And I'm like, interesting. And I'm like, well, this guy really doesn't know much. He doesn't seem like he's that good, but he's absolutely crushing it. He's absolutely making a stupid amount of money wholesaling houses. And I said, what do you think is the first thing I did? And I didn't ever invented this, but I just reverse engineered the address. And what I did was I went on the property appraiser, I looked up the address, and indeed somebody bought that house for $180,000. And it was like Tennessee Investments LLC, right? I don't give out the exact one, but like, it's like, huh. So guess what I did? I went to the mailing address, I called it. I said, is this Tennessee Investments LLC? They said, yes. I said, are you looking to buy any more? He said, of course. I say, okay, perfect. And then I went marketing, found a seller, locked it up, then assigned it to him. I'm not gonna say I invented stealing buyers, but this created some insane gold mine from really 2019 to 2021, where I was in every single Facebook group, and all I was doing was finding, I'm gonna get in trouble saying this, I was finding dumb young kids who had no idea what they were doing. No idea. We were talking about 18-year-olds who would make 15 grand on an assignment fee and then go to the bank, withdraw all $10,000, go a Kodak Black money spread, and do like the whole, with the teeth. They go all glee, and they do that, right? And of course, they have to flex, and they have to go out here and post a check, and the check always puts usually it's a assignment fee for and then the address. And I never told that, like, guys, my YouTube channel had 140 subscribers, so no one was listening to me. I was telling people I was doing this, but no one was listening to me. You can go check the receipts. And all I was doing is just like, okay, legit buyer, legit buyer, legit. And I was stealing all these boys' buyers. And then I started getting confronted. Hey, bro, why you steal my buyer? I'm like, oh, you own him? You own this person? I'm pretty sure that's illegal. You can't be doing that. I said something else, but I'm not going to say it on here. I'm like, bro, you can't own another person. That's so stupid. But that's my buyer. I own that. I'm like, you do not own the buyer, bro. That is kind of weird. That's kind of weird. And he learned a very valuable lesson that day, that flexing in the streets usually gets you robbed. And flexing in wholesaling real estate, when you put the address out, usually gets you in a lot of trouble. And, a lot of people will attack me like, Zach, why don't you give the last 100 addresses out on a spreadsheet and then give I'm like, I'm not giving up my top buyers. And until you get some really top buyers stolen, and then you have 5,000 wholesalers contacting them, and now they're just too full on deals, it is competition to a point. It gets tough. Sayreville, Ohio was the first one. I really crushed it. And then I started seeing a bunch of kids, I'm calling them kids. They're going out here and doing a bunch of deals in Miamisburg, Ohio, and Dayton, Ohio, and all these areas. Whoa, make sure that's working. I think these keep falling. Hold on, we're gonna move you right here. Hold on. How do I do this? There we go, that should work. Whoa. I need something to stand this up on. We'll do this. Hold on, don't distract myself here. I got a solution. There we go. All right. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. So being very, very specific, there's a bunch of kids in Dayton, Ohio, and they were just going out here, and it was actually insane back in the day, but they were just posting these checks, and they didn't know what they were doing. And I'm like, why don't I try marketing there? And that's what I did. And then I started destroying it. And there's just so many markets I did this in. And it kind of just got embarrassing because I was just going in here and and destroying it. And I want to give everybody in here a very important thing, okay? I decided I was going to go out here and I was going to go to Facebook, and then I was going to post on the Facebook groups. And this is very controversial, but I decided that all these people were doing was feeding their own dang crazy egos. So to feed Homeboy's ego that just kept posting that they're doing all these checks, I decided to go on Facebook groups, and this is a tip for everyone. I went inside of Facebook, and then I made a post, and I said, who's the biggest, baddest wholesaler in Dayton, Ohio? And guess what happens when you do that? I'm the king of Dayton, Ohio. I'm the best. I say, oh, prove it then, bro. What's your company's name? John Smith, LLC. I'm like, bet, bro. And then I went there. And then, guys, I'm insane. I would go to Detroit. Who's the biggest, baddest closer in Detroit? I'm the biggest. I do 20 deals a month. I'm like, really? And then I just, whoop. And you have to just attack people's ego. There are certain men, it's always men, just being honest, that have to feel, they got to puff their chest and go crazy. I'm the biggest, baddest guy in my market. Congratulations, homie. You just got attacked. And these are strategies you can still use today. People's egos are crazier than ever, but I love seeing flexers flex. It's my favorite. It's my absolute favorite. It's like, I'm so good at wholesaling, I'm just going to give you my buyers. It's the best. And you could also use this another way. For example, if I get a new market, for example, the past couple of years, I started exploring some new markets, and I can't really post that anymore. And I'm not saying because everyone knows me. I feel like a jerk saying that, so I'm not going to say that. But like, people know I'm fishing if I'm doing it right. So we got some friends that will post for me, and they'll go in and post it for me, and they'll say who's the biggest, baddest, and then we go from there. And the thing I do that is I find flippers now. I flip 30 deals a month in this market. I'm like, perfect. Well, let me look up your LLC. Let me see what area, where zip codes you're buying in. I see you're only buying in 2 zip codes. In all of Toledo, Ohio, you're only buying in 2 zip codes. Guess what that means for me? Perfect. Well, then I'm going to only market in these 2 zip codes. Guess what that does? Then I just get really niched out my marketing and go nuts. The thing about this is, it is so easy to rig the game in virtual wholesaling if you know how to attack people's crazy egos, and you know how to just, people are really bad. Like they have to let you know they're the best. These are just how some people are wired, and they just can't stop. It's the downfall to many men is their egos, and you just got to feed it like that. That isn't a great, impressive way to get deals. So find the braggers, find the flexers, and go out here and keep your eyes out. Keep your eyes out on the other wholesalers out here. All these other wholesalers bragging they're the best. Okay, you know what? Guess what? You are the best. Please, show me proof you're the best. Show me the addresses. Here are the addresses. Thank you so much. You are the best, yes. And then you take those addresses, you get your free cash buyers, you contact them, then you get to work. Guys, I've made so much money from just finding people flexing and finding just people having success. And you got to look at, like, if this dude is so dumb and he's so bad at closing sellers, but he's crushing it, imagine me who's better than him. What happens when I go in there? I'm going to absolutely destroy it. It's like if I played Pee Wee football right now. Homeboy, I'm 6'1", 200 pounds. I'm just going to destroy the little Pee Wee kids, you know? And that's how I feel like, you know, people are playing Pee Wee football. I'll go out here all full pads. I'll go Luke Kelsey on you. All right. I'll call the audible. I'll disguise my coverage. I know what I'm doing. And You ever see those memes of like those adults playing Pee Wee football with the little kids? They're just like, that's what it is to a point. If these people are so bad at wholesaling, they're absolutely making hundreds of thousands. What happens about you with the right strategies that we teach you at freewholesaling.com? It's just fish in a barrel, good dude. And that's something you guys got to really know about it, right? If you go out here in wholesaling real estate and just go and try to find other people doing well and other people really having success, all you have to do is just take what they're doing and just be humble. Humble in someone's ego. I'm the best. What do you do? See what they do, and then you like if somebody's having success in Dayton, Ohio, cold calling code violations, cold call code violations. It's really that simple. It's really, really that simple. All you gotta do is kind of sift through the coaching and the actual like people trying to like flex. That's pretty much that. And the thing about this is like, someone usually tells you information because they're trying to sell you coaching, or like they're actually just trying to brag. You got to find the people actually trying to brag, because people will tell you they use this, but they're just trying to sell an affiliate or some coaching on it. So that's how you got to deal with it. So steal what these other people are doing. They're just giving you free info and free game, and you need to go out here and take it. I know it's nasty to do. I know it seems nasty, seems bad. I know people are gonna say, "Oh man, Zach, you're copying. You're stealing. You're copying." First and foremost, you cannot own a buyer. Can we make that very clear? It's illegal to own another human being. That's really actually weird. You keep saying that. That's number one. Number two, you don't own the concept of cold calling. You do not own the concept of SMS. You do not own a zip code. You don't even own the dang house or wholesaling the house. Stop saying you own the information that this zip code works in wholesaling. It's insane to me. It's like when you ask a realtor, a top realtor, can you teach me how to be a good realtor? They're always going to say, no, I'm not telling you, because then you're going to use it and go against me. Does he own the information? No. Just go out here and do it, right? Guys, I have books in the other studio, real estate wholesaling books from the 60s and 70s, and they're the same information you know now. Pre-foreclosures, people not paying their property taxes, creative finance, stuff like that. Like, the information is older than you and I combined, probably. You just got to know the info that works in every market, as everything is very market specific, and you'll go out here and crush it. Guys, great art. Pablo Picasso said this, but great artists copy. Good artists copy, great artists steal. He's not telling you steal somebody's thing word for word, but he's saying use it as an inspiration and go from there. Do what Elon Musk does. Do what Jeff Bezos does. You don't have to invent it, you just perfect it. That's how you go out here and crush it. So let me answer some questions, see what's going on with everyone today. And, I love seeing how everyone's doing today. So welcome to the Discord.